Don't wander into any restricted areas.
They know how to make a client feel welcome.
If you're wondering what that smell is.
What are you looking at?
In the heart of Aquila City, Galbank was robbed by the
Some would say this place represents all the worst impulses of humanity.
Yeah?
I don't recall sending for anyone. What do you want? It's been a very beneficial partnership. As long as we continue to look out for our mutual interests, I can't complain. A heads up. You're telling me you're heading into my own territory? That's not how this works. First, you tell me why, and then if I'm satisfied, I'll graciously grant you permission. As long as it doesn't involve the Syndicate members themselves, I'll tell you what. I'll make sure the Syndicate lets you in hassle-free, provided you do a little something for me. And what mutual benefit would that be? Whoa. Okay. Let me think. All right. You talk a good game. And I suppose if we're looking at a mutually beneficial situation, there's no reason for me not to allow such a small favor. Check in with Ms. Moore at Frankie's. I'll send word along that you're to be expected, so she shouldn't give you any trouble. Fair warning, the Syndicate should let you search any common areas, but if anyone catches you snooping around private quarters, I'll just say, be prepared for some hostilities.
Private sector. That's what
another version of you. Now, for the time to change your life. Here in him.
I gotta take care of this.
What'll it be? Can I help you? Oh, you're the one getting special treatment. Huh. I knew you was some sort of trouble. I've got one rule for you in there, so it shouldn't be hard to remember. Third floor is off limits. They catch you snooping around, and it's open season. It ain't a threat if it's a rule, now is it? I'm more of an honorary member. I let them take up residence in the back, keep things looking legit. They keep this business afloat, so finances don't keep me up at night. That's what I like to hear. For the record, I'm only granting you access because I have to. You'll find that young lady you're looking for holed up in a room almost straight ahead. Just remember to keep your eyes on the prize. The less you consider this an open house, the better.
I do admire what Bayou has built for himself here. I suppose we should assume they actually know.
I figured our paths would cross sooner or later. Not that I thought I was safe, but I never expected anyone to just slip by all the Syndicate here. I had a feeling you'd be the one to come after me. Yes, and no, but mostly no. Just hear me out, okay? You stay in this business long enough, you get enough favors and connections that can help you see anything coming. Nyx owed me a favor, and gave me the heads up. I know this doesn't look good, but I had no choice. Ularu set me up. Yes, I've been acting as a double agent, but because she ordered me to. The assignment was meant to deceive, not benefit. And Project Dominion is way above my pay grade. It'd be impossible for me to deliver it. At least, intentionally. I'm not the one with motive here. First, I'm not about to reboot my life. Second, I'm not spending the rest of my life looking over my shoulder for the next field op they'd send after me. Of course. But first you have to understand, she used me to play an unwitting part in this, so I'm the one that takes the fall. That's why I said it'd be impossible for me to intentionally pull this off. Look, I only know about Project Dominion because I wanted to know exactly what I was being accused of leaking, but that tech is dangerous. An internal neuroamp that can theoretically control other people? If the evidence points to me, it's because Ularu used it to set me up. What better way to frame someone than to take control of their mind and have them actually perform the actions?
This is exactly what makes something like an internal neuroamp so dangerous.
Power, of course. Corporations maintain their success by any means necessary, but there are some measures Masako is reluctant to take. You may have noticed that none of your assignments directly involve murder. Masako reserves those actions only when it's absolutely necessary. Ularu sees this as a sign of weakness that needs to be dealt with. Because she knows I'm the most believable target, I'm the only one at Ryujin with the skills to even come close to being able to pull off a job like this. It's the only scenario that makes sense. Besides, what's my motive? My career is solid at Ryujin. Infinity can't possibly beat my current benefits. Believe me, after having to play double agent, I've learned all of this firsthand. Yes, it's what the technology does, and it explains why the evidence against me is so solid. Come to think of it, it also explains a few strange bouts of disorientation I've been having the past few months. That's exactly what I've been doing here. Ularu has the skill to pull this off, but she's also been behind a desk for years now. I knew she'd miss something. This slate? holds all the evidence against her. I just need you to deliver it to Dalton. It's the only way I can prove I'm innocent. Nix's contract limits his investigation to Ularu's computer and her network activity. I hacked into building security and was able to recover deleted records of her accessing the Project Dominion prototype. I guarantee the third-party company Dalton is using for his security directive theta won't even notice it. I was hoping you would. I'm still going to lay low until I hear the coast is clear. As long as Ularu still thinks I'm on the run, she'll remain confident that her plan is working. And I know you don't hear it much around the office, but thanks.
How complicated this has become. Can we even trust that if we give the evidence to Dalton, he will accept it?
Website's changed.
I hope this means you finished your business. Better have credits to spend. Are you kidding me?
Well, look who's back. So tell me, what did you find out? If you think I'm paying for that information, think again. It's just a matter of time before it finds its way onto my desk, and I can be a very patient person. Inside the Syndicate? That area is off limits, and I think we both know why. Imogene knew exactly what she was doing when she went there. I had a feeling you'd say that. Enjoy your time with Dalton. It'll all trickle back to me sooner or later.
Been waiting here for ages.
I've got my eye on you.
Is there something I can help you with? Excuse me? Let me close this door before you say anything else you might regret. Just a moment. Shutting the door and engaging locks. That's better. And that's quite the story you just threw in my face. Not to mention a serious accusation. And just where is this absurd notion coming from? Is this a game? I wasn't aware. It is a horrible thing when such well-made plans can't be shared. Dalton? You obviously don't know him at all. Looks like someone's been brushing up on their corporate skills. Fine. Since it's just you and me here, I'll come clean. I leaked Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd. But I'm no mole. Please. It's insulting that you think I'd actually be working for someone other than Ryujin or myself. With the amount of secrecy and security surrounding that project, I'm happy to report that's true. You see, I'm not a mole. I'm an opportunist. And no one is more loyal to Ryujin than I am. Masako, on the other hand, is losing her touch. Ryujin needs strong leadership for what lies ahead. A CEO who can make the hard decisions. What do you think? If someone was a threat to your family, would you be satisfied waiting for them to strike? Of course not. You'd eliminate the threat before it had a chance to act. In some cases, before it even realized what it was capable of. It's all part of my plan. But don't worry, Infinity Ltd will never be able to complete Vina's work. I made sure of that. Back then, hard decisions were all about screwing people over and white-collar crime. Today, they're more about ensuring success, by any means necessary. So, now that you know, it's time to see how good you are at making hard decisions. With your help, I can take down Masako and make the credits worth your while. So whose side are you on? Masako's or Ryujin's? Well, it seems we're at an impasse now. The only way you stop me from carrying out my plans to depose Masako is to kill me. You could try to get me fired, but that only delays my plans. Face it. This isn't a game you can win. Go ahead. I guarantee any evidence you have is circumstantial at best. I've created the perfect scapegoat in Imogene. It'd be your word against mine, and I'm pretty sure the odds are in my favor. We'll see about that.
This could be the most important meeting. Keep out of my way, and I'll keep out of...
You're back. And Imogene? I suppose you suddenly have all the facts now. This explanation better be good. I have a mind to fire you just for that comment. Of course. We've scrubbed security footage and run through access card permissions and found nothing. The project itself is an enormous security risk, but our lead R&D engineer, Vina Kara, has been working on ways to mitigate this. I find it hard to believe Ularu would take the chance to incriminate herself. But if this slate provides indisputable evidence to corroborate your story, well, that's enough proof for me. It will be a relief to reinstate Imogene as well. Now, I need to undertake the laborious task of writing up a report to summarize all of this. In the meantime, Masako has requested your presence in R&D. She wants you to meet her in Vinakara's office. Masako's been focusing on how to deal with Infinity Ltd. And their knowledge of Project Dominion. I believe her plans rely heavily on you. Just take the elevator down to Research and Development. You'll find Dr. Kara's office to your left as you enter the floor. Vina's the head of our Research and Development team. She's the creator of Project Dominion, and often considered the protege of Ray Decaris, Ryujin's founder. Not that I enjoy it, but I wouldn't trust anyone but myself with these reports as it is.
Ryujin's CEO is no joke.
Don't cause any trouble.
I need that Rothicite if we want to complete the neuroamp.
I'm just concerned the entire station was wiped out by... something.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out and get that shipment back.
I hope
Good, you're here. It's time to put a plan in motion to take full control of this situation with Infinity Ltd. The mole took priority. Now that Dalton has everything he needs, thanks to you, we're free to proceed. We don't know to what extent Infinity has taken the current neuroamp schematics, so our top priority is completing our own. Let me introduce you to Vina Kalra, Head of Research and Development. She'll give you the initial details.
Yes, details. You see, the internal neuroamp is supposed to consist of two parts. The first part, the part Infinity stole, handles the manipulative effects. The second part is a shielding modification designed to protect the user against other neuroamp users. Well, we can't, but the shielding aspect was never officially a part of Project Dominion. It was an afterthought of how to safeguard our own people from being manipulated, so it was being researched separately as a mod. The research itself was in early stages, too early for board approval, so only myself, DeMarcus, and Masako know about it. Oh yeah, marketing and finance wouldn't have it any other way.
No one wants their greatest asset used against them. Once Vina can complete the internal neuroamp and shielding mod, the plan is to outfit you with both and have you infiltrate Infinity Ltd. We can't risk the assignment until we know your mind has the necessary protection.
Of course. Installing experimental technology into your very head. What could go wrong?
We expect our employees to do whatever it takes to ensure Ryujin's success. Consider this an opportunity, not a risk. Besides, you're in good hands with Vina. You're a Ryujin employee, and we need a job done. We've trusted you this far, so I feel it's safe to continue the trend. Good. That's all I wanted to hear.
And all I need is the last piece of the puzzle. The final kink in both designs was finding compatible materials to use for conductivity that the human body wouldn't reject. I've finally created the perfect alloy, but it requires a newly discovered refined element called Rothicite.
Which is where I come in. We have a confidential contract with Consolidated Mining to gather, refine, and ship the Rothicite straight to us. Their last shipment is late, and neither we nor Consolidated Mining have had any communication with the Carinae station. My thoughts exactly.
We need you to head out there, secure the shipment, and bring it back here so Vina can complete her prototype. And I want to know what happened. We need to take any safety measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, yes, so be prepared. Extensive tests and research were done on the planet, so the chances that this is environmental are slim. And setting up a station like this is second nature for consolidated mining, with plenty of redundancies in place to handle mechanical failures.
The mining station is CM Station RC-1. It's on a moon called Carinae 3A in the Carinae system. The shipment should be in the research and control tower, but the outside doors are kept locked down. This keycard will let you enter the mines so you can access the tower from the inside. Good luck.
I feel the worst for the people on that station. Once we have the Rotha site, we can finally set my plan in motion. Of course, but our technicians don't have the skills that our operatives do. We like to keep them limited to populated areas, not lone mining stations. Consolidated Mining is one of the oldest and most trusted mining companies in the settled systems. As their name may suggest, they were created when several smaller companies came together in order to compete with the dominating names at the time, like Argos. They grew their business on dependability and service, and still retain those qualities today. Your top priorities are securing a shipment of refined rothicite and finding out what happened to that mining station. If the shipment has been moved, I want you to use every resource to relocate it and report back with any information you find along the way. Once the shipment is secure, bring it back here at once and deliver it to Vina. We want her to complete her prototype as soon as possible. I was elected CEO when my predecessor, Itaru Saito, was proving to be incompetent. He was jeopardizing our relationships with both the Freestar Collective and Benjamin Bayou, which would have made doing business extremely difficult for Ryujin. We caught hostile operatives with Ryujin Tech a while back, and linked them to the Freestar Collective's Council of Governors. Saito was enraged. He wanted more than the usual compensation from the Freestar Collective. He wanted the truth. When the truth was refused, he went after Bayou, accusing him of knowingly condoning the Council's actions. The compensation should have been enough. To this day, I can only speculate on why the truth was so important. The Council of Governors is a group of political and corporate elite that oversee the Freestar Collective. They institute the laws and have the Freestar Rangers to enforce them. And, of course, Administrator Bayou is one of them. Just look at our position. We're based in Neon, a city controlled largely by Benjamin Bayou. And Neon is inside the Freestar Collective, controlled by the Council of Governors. I think the answer is obvious. In an ideal world, yes, it's a goal I look toward. But a move like that isn't something that happens overnight. Unraveling the complex relationship would be years of work. So until it's no longer beneficial, I'm content to take it slow.
Luckily, due to Alexis's legal expertise, Consolidated Mining can't hold us responsible for any casualties. We'll have to look into a more effective way of sending distress calls from distant locations. I'm the supply chain manager in operations, so all these computers and equipment are courtesy of yours truly. It's certainly not as glamorous as overseeing the technicians and operatives, but the job is equally important if you ask me. The main area you're looking for is a research and control tower. It's the tallest section of the station, so you can't miss it. But like I said, it's locked down pretty tight from the outside. That keycard will get you into the mine through the lower barracks, where you can take an elevator up to reach the tower. I'm positive it's mercenaries of some sort. Crimson Fleet, Ecliptic, maybe even Spacers. Just be prepared. Ammo, medpacks, whatever it takes. Whoever's there isn't going to be known for subtlety. Come by whenever. I'm always happy to chat.
It's times like these when I'm glad I have an office job. It's a very rare element that appears to be unique to the moon Carinae 3A. With the right purity in combination with other metals, the alloy is completely compatible with an amazing level of conductivity and no degradation. It's basically the ace up our sleeve for neuroamps. For you, it'll be like going into a deep, relaxing sleep, and then waking up feeling refreshed and invigorated. For me, it'll be a few hours of laser-focused skill. I like to think of neurosurgery as an art form. Honestly, it's going to be fine. Zero downtime, no projected side effects. You're gonna love it. The one and only. It was one of the first projects I proposed as head of research and development, so Project Dominion is like my baby. Funny story. The concept started off as a joke DeMarcus made, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this was just the challenge I was looking for. That's right. I'm Dr. Vina Kalra, head of research and development. I oversee everything that goes on around here from neuroamp development to weapon testing. Do me a favor and watch your step out there on the floor, okay? DeMarcus and the engineers work with a lot of dangerous equipment and chemicals. And as much as I'd love to test some of our experimental tech on human subjects, that requires special approvals. Designed and developed right here. Remarkable, aren't they? I wish I could have been Ray DeCaris the day she first perfected the technology. She laid the groundwork that DeMarcus and I base all of our current designs on. Oh, DeMarcus is my chief engineer, by the way. He's the only person here who can keep up with me, but don't let him know that. It'll go straight to his head. Don't tell me you don't know the name of Ryujin's founder. Ray DeCaris created Ryujin Industries with Itaru Saito back in 2307. She developed the very first neuroamp just a few years later, laying the foundation for this corporation. I had the honor of working under her a few short years before she retired and entrusted me with R&D. It was nice seeing you.
Landing gear's ready. So, Miss Stay Up Late reading under the covers. Did you write your news report last night?
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the stars to navigate. That's so cool.
But I guess it only worked because they just lived on
Lay it on me.
Remind me one of these days to tell you the tale of a certain Solomon Coe, and where his stargazing landed him.
You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day.
Guys, stay
heard something.
If nothing else, the cold here provides an excuse to warm up together later.
Target reacquired.
Come then. You're dead.
Taking fire.
exactly the lap of luxury, is it?
Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets. Kid! He cuts me!
Take your best shot.
equipment. Someone certainly considered this worth the time and credits.
Best not to leave anything useful behind.
is why I hate Ecliptic. It was wholly unnecessary to do this to these poor miners. My day is suddenly... Need to see what I'm carrying? Leaving so soon.
You've entered the clinic's space. Please dock, or leave the area clear for incoming patients.
Ship is now docked. Perfect. Didn't even smudge the paint.
You need something, dearest? If there's anything you need, I am happy to share. I'm sorry to see you go.
Talk to me.
I have never required treatment here, and I hope that I never do.
Something to report? This area's off limits. Authorized personnel only. Yeah, I bet you do. I'm not falling for that. You're not getting past me. That's all just talk. Doesn't change anything. Yeah, okay, I get it. Fine, I'll issue you an access card. Infinity better get it together.
Sean, I don't want to go over this again. I'm tired, all right?
Hey, who let you in here? This is a restricted area. I don't need to tell you anything. This whole wing is restricted. I think you need to leave before I'm forced to call security. You think I'm just gonna give you confidential information? You got a point. I'd like to believe that. All right. Maybe there really is some good that can come out of this. We're on a private contract with Infinity Ltd. It's for something they call Project Dominion. Dr. Lane and I were instructed to conduct human trials on several volunteers. So far, only one patient has survived. Not everyone can afford neuroamp technology. When it comes to the possibility of getting one for free, we had plenty of candidates to choose from. They understood the risks. We just never thought chance of failure would be so high. Whoa, let's not take it too far. When Infinity hired us, they said human trial authorization was already underway and we'd have the approvals in a matter of days. But days went by and nothing. Every time we'd ask, it was always just days away, but we kept working. Between the money and potential success, it was easy to tell ourselves that they'd come through.
Sean, what the hell is going on here? Who is this? You think we stood by and did nothing? We did everything we could to save them. You've no idea how many hours we spent in surgery and how closely we've monitored each and every one of them. It's moments like these when I think I just need to hear someone say it out loud. Sean spoke the truth. We thought the approval would arrive any day, so we continued with the project. By the time we started to catch on, it was already too late. We were too immersed in the lie.
Doctors are supposed to act ethically, approvals or not.
Infinity is the one that should take the blame. We're victims here as well.
No, he's right, Ken. It's what you and I both deserve after going along with this mess. How long have we talked about walking away or refusing to work? We oversaw the death of 9 people here, and it may as well be 10. Infinity may have lied to us, but they also paid us well enough that we did nothing.
You'd let some stranger like this just ruin our careers?
Yes, and you're going to let them too. Go ahead. Get whatever information you need to take this place and Infinity down. I'll make sure Dr. Lane remains cooperative.
If only we had a little more time.
I'd like to think that we would have done the right thing, even if you never showed up. That's what we thought last time.
To think I did all of this to help my career.
Whew. Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
This is Freestar Space. Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband. And that's it. Enjoy.
Journalistic integrity at its finest.
Look at... What can I... Feel like bringing the pain, huh? Door's over that way.
My favorite person. What have you got for me? Are you sure you must go?
Packaged food?
Just want to... If you're looking for supply, sure, have a look. Tell everyone you know about our store.
That other place.
Looking to blow a hole in something? You're in luck. Just got some of the latest hardware. All right, get out of here.
Thanks again for your assistance.
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Nice to catch you in the office.
Just hand Vina the shipment so we can get on with it.
Is that my beautiful shipment? You were right about this one, Masako. "100% pure, though. When it comes to the brain, we don't want to take any risks. Now, I shall excuse myself and get to work on finalizing this prototype."
So, what did you learn about CM Station RC-1? The mercenary group? Only that you mean business if you hire them. They're not known for subtlety, and don't care if they leave a trail of bodies in their wake. I take it they were at the station? Lucas must be desperate if he hired them to collect the Rothicite. Were there any survivors? Corporate culture may have its ugly side, but that doesn't mean we've lost our humanity. Our moves are strategic and precise, as you should know. The moment we justify the slaughter of innocents is when we go from competitive to criminal. Our station on Carinae 3A and Consolidated Mining's contract were both confidential. We had no reason to believe they'd be under any threat. Of course, we had no reason to believe we had a mole, either. Sicking ecliptic on a station with nothing but miners and scientists? Corporations can sink low, but this is a new level. Now, I also had a report that you were spotted at the clinic. I take it you traced the shipment there? Our technicians are thorough, but they aren't that thorough. Your ship docking there simply caught their attention is all. But on the off chance it was related to your assignment, They're currently combing through the clinic records as we speak. I figured it was related. And were you able to determine the purpose of this secure wing? They're going to pay, all right. But if you have something to add to their list of criminal activity, I'll be happy to use whatever fuel you can provide. The clinic serves all, but it can't be denied that they require credits to run. In most cases, the clinic is also the best choice for research. Not everyone has the resources to have decent medical facilities like us on site. So, it sounds like Lucas has reached a new level of desperation to ensure his future as CEO.
Infinity appears to be on an entirely different level of corruption. It cannot be allowed to continue.
I'll make sure Yuko's team extracts every bit of information they can from the clinic's database on this. Between hiring Ecliptic and unauthorized human trials, we have enough to take Lucas down for good. And with the Rothosite secure, it's almost time for us to make our move. Not long, according to her. She and DeMarcus have everything prepped and ready. I believe it's just a matter of creating the alloy and molding it according to her design. Head up to the executive floor and speak to Dalton. He has an update for you on the mole's identity. I've called a meeting, and I expect you to attend. It's time to put the final plan in motion.
Out of my way and
Good. You're right on time. I reevaluated all the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole.
So this clears Imogen of wrongdoing. Good.
In due time. I'll be reaching out, but right now we need her to remain in hiding. Yes, you made the right call. I've briefed Masako and discussed her plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogen was the mole, and the situation was dealt with.
I can understand the need for deception, but it does come at quite a cost.
Imogen is a resourceful woman. I have no doubt she's in a safe house of her own design. In fact, she probably sees this as a paid vacation. My guess is she's lounging on a couch somewhere, binging all those movies she hasn't had time to watch. Good. Keeping Ularu in the dark is the key to taking her down. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity, so before you go, I want you to bring that program to me. Then we'll have to find another way to build a case against Ularu. And it won't be easy. If I can't find hidden code on a single slate, I certainly deserve to be fired. Ularu is limited in what she can hide here. Plus, she'll have no reason to believe anyone will be looking in the first place. Good. Once Ularu believes she's properly deflected any suspicion, I've no doubt she'll be bold enough to hide something within whatever program she writes. Now, let's attend a meeting. We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just don't tell me it's Vina. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Vina. The guilty party is Imogene Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogene is highly trained. Ularu can even speak to that. We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget, the mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives. Watch me.
Imogene's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Vina is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority the experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
Botched human trials and murder for hire? You don't bounce back from that. At least not with Infinity's legal team.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Masako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this. You always have a choice. You just have to decide which set of consequences you prefer to live with. Vina will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division in R&D. Once you're done, meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
This deal could be huge for my company.
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm on my 12th iteration of this design. I have a good feeling.
Ryujin has certainly taken time to
Double-check
craft
those measurements are right. Anesthesia always makes me nervous.
Neuroamps are fascinating, are they not? I'm still surprised they have not been completely outlawed.
Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey. Neurosurgery is my specialty. I've performed more operations than I can count on a wide variety of brains. So I like to think that I'm wildly overqualified. Really, I could do this in my sleep. The internal neuroamp is basically the next leap in our line of influential amplifiers. It gives the user dominion over a less dominant target, meaning you can heavily influence another person's thoughts and actions. Technically, that remains to be seen. It's not legal, but those decisions will be left up to a higher power who is neither you nor me. Hey, let's not get carried away there. That terminology is a bit heavy-handed. So, are you ready to get started? Oh, don't worry. That's not on the agenda. Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured. There's little to no risk, assuming your brain is typical and you don't have any adverse reaction to the anesthesia. First sign of trouble, we back out and start evaluating other candidates. You're gonna be fine. All I'm saying is that you're in good hands. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go.
If this has not all been a horrible miscalculation, then we will speak again soon.
You don't know how much I envy you. I'd kill to be in your position. Figuratively, of course.
All right, let's get this party started. Well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing. So, how are you feeling? You look good? Huge success. No surprises, no signs of rejection. You were the ideal subject. Now, we just keep our fingers crossed and hope no unknown side effects come creeping in later. That's exactly what we want. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation. Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some people have greater mental capabilities than others, which would increase the duration. Now that's something to talk to the drone engineers about. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says. Our preliminary testing was rigorous enough that there's little to no risk involved here. The biggest unknown was finding the perfect compatible alloy for the implant. We've had the tech itself working externally for quite some time. That's the spirit. DeMarcus loves being hands-on and experiencing things on his own. It's probably why he's the second most published scientist here, after me. Just head up the stairs nearby to the observation deck.
You appear dehydrated. I suggest the immediate ingestion of a moderate.
As an observer, the effect is quite unnerving. It is hard not to immediately worry about the implications.
Oh my god, that was incredible! What was it like?
Wow. How to describe it? 1 minute I was excited about seeing how the experiment would go. The next, I had a brief moment of disorientation and figured I must have lost my train of thought. It felt eerily natural. And yes, I admit it, just as you predicted.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I can hardly wait to finish writing up my latest dissertation. And you owe me 100 creds.
That's why there's
I'll be keeping myself under constant surveillance now. I'm curious if any other side effects may manifest.
If anyone else got their hands on our neuro-amp technology...
Watch your hands. Lots of delicate equipment around here.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Any side effects? Well, I'd leave that up for Alexis and Lyndon to decide. Compensation's not really my thing. Well, luckily that isn't up for you to decide. I hope you know, you're talking about banning my life's biggest accomplishment.
I'd even go as far as to call it the settled system's biggest accomplishment. That's something Ryujin isn't going to let go of easily. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech. Those are the kind of edge cases that I let the board work out. Obviously, tech like this is going to come with its fair share of red tape. Not at all. But I can imagine if I experienced disorientation like that, but regained my awareness in another room, it could be a bit jarring. We'll definitely be running some more tests in the future, though. So many situations to account for. Maybe that's the beauty of it. You'd never know. Besides, the neuro-amp isn't total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, It's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
I can't believe Vina finally pulled it off. With my help, of course. Not a thing. It was like those moments where you lose your train of thought, or space out for just a moment. If you're worried about using it in Infinity's HQ, I guarantee no one there's going to notice. Well, sure. It's one of the many things where, in the wrong hands, it can be considered exceptionally dangerous. But at the same time, have you read about the Colony War? A tool like the internal neuroamp could be the key to preventing another one. If you'd seen the studies and tests we've run, you'd understand why I'm not concerned. Besides, if anything does happen, I've got the best neurosurgeon in the settled systems to help me find a solution. You're welcome to visit anytime.
Oh, Masako told me about imaging. It's completely irrational, right? I think I'll be processing this one for a long time. Every now and then. I understand the dangers, which is why I also came up with the shielding mod. But there's a lot of tech out there we use every day that has plenty of dangerous implications. This is why I leave repercussions for people like Masako and Alexis to figure out. It's so satisfying. Not only that, it's like this incredible tension has been lifted off my shoulders. I guess I never realized how much my drive to complete it affected me. It wasn't so much the intention as the challenge it represented. Masako actually proposed the idea, citing numerous advantages for Ryujin. I couldn't resist. I'm sure you were hoping for a higher calling within that story, but it's really the complexity and challenge that motivated me to do it. Don't be ridiculous. Of course I wasn't. Nothing in science is absolute. I had a hypothesis that you'd be alright, which we proved correct via experimentation. The perfect scientific process. The seamless integration of my internal neuroamp into your brain structure is the happy consequence of that experiment. I'm always happy to chat about my work.
Hey, welcome to R&D.
Excuse me.
Ryujin certainly spared no expense.
Good, you're here. I wasn't sure how accurate Vina's promise of no downtime was going to be.
Let's just hope her promise of no brain damage holds true as well.
Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work. We're sending you into Infinity Ltd. Lucas Drexler is about to learn exactly why you don't steal from Ryujin Industries. All right. Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity Ltd. You have two options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you. Of course not. The meeting is just a legitimate way in. Once inside, you'll be led to a waiting room where your host will be running late. That's your opportunity to make your way to either the executive floor or R&D. Option A, you need to remain under the radar the entire time. Option B, you have a slight cover that may give you the opportunity to talk your way to your objectives. As long as you're prepared when the time comes. Now, depending on your preference, You'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have 3 targets. First, you have Lucas Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse, so I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
You'll only have free range on the marketing floor. Infinity may be cheap, but they know at least some level of security is needed in this business. Any mercenary or disgruntled worker can go shoot a place up. You're a Ryujin operative, so start acting like one. Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity Ltd., all of their data is going to come under intense scrutiny. We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to Ryujin and the internal neuroamp. Anyone who comes forward to defend Lucas would be prosecuted as either aiding or being an accessory to these crimes. They all know career suicide when they see it. As for Lucas himself, if he wants to speak up and add corporate theft to his laundry list of crimes, fine. But who's going to believe him?
It is best to keep the public unaware of such a device.
If the media were to draw their own conclusions, I'm certain they'd just create a panic among people. Controlling the narrative is of the utmost importance.
Understood.
No, we don't want to mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. In fact, unless they're a master at being one with the shadows, I'd suggest you leave your friend behind. Lower the risk. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail. If the information Simon provided is accurate, you can reach the control systems through a computer located in the maintenance area. It's a pretty convenient stop if you enter in through the roof access. I'm told security has masks to handle the situation, so the guards will still be stationed in the building. It's also possible they'll activate their building's defense system as well. You may run into a few automated turrets, so you'll still want to try and stay out of sight. My thoughts exactly. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible. Please, you're an exception. But we can talk promotion after you pull off this assignment. Well, you're still here, so apparently you didn't need it that bad.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of Ryujin or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story. It doesn't matter what he believes. David's first move will be to verify the information you provide. Once he receives confirmation, which he will, he'll see it as his duty to report the news. Ularu assured me it's safe.
The Overseer program will purge itself once its primary function is complete. The only thing left on that slate will be proof of Infinity's crimes.
You and me both. So, any final questions before you go? Pay attention. We're giving you a slate with a program that has to be run on Lucas Drexler and Faye Sengsavan's computers. You also need to steal their current prototype of the internal neuroamp kept on their R&D floor. Once you're done, you're bringing the slate to David Barron at SSNN, and you're returning here to me with the prototype. Depending on whether or not you evacuate the building, you'll mostly be looking at security guards, much like we have here. You may encounter an automated defense system in the form of turrets as well, so be careful. You have the ability to manipulate others. If someone's in your way, you could get them to move. If someone has a keycard, that means you have a keycard. The possibilities here are really up to you. You'll be restricted to the marketing floor. An appointment is not a free pass. Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up, Skylar Lumen. Don't get in there, and let's show Infinity
This will be a day
what
Lucas
happens when they mess with
Drexler will
Ryujin
never
Industries.
forget. It's not obvious yet? Take control of the situation. With the internal neuroamp, you can manipulate others any way you choose. If there's a key card, make someone hand it over. Or perhaps make them open the door themselves. You get the idea. Should you get caught, we'll deny knowledge of your plans, as usual. It will be your responsibility to find a way to still complete your assignment and return to us when it's done. Faye is the head of Infinity Ltd's research and development team. She's notorious for her lack of morality, so it's no surprise that Lucas has a woman like her in charge. You should ask Vina about her sometime. I've heard they have a bit of a competitive history. You need to run Ularu's Overseer program on Lucas Drexler and Faye Sengsavan's computers, and steal their current iteration of the internal neuroamp. Lucas's office will be on the top executive floor, while Faye's office and their version of the internal neuroamp prototype will be in R&D, the basement level. Once finished, you bring the slate to David Barron at SSNN and the prototype back to me.
Ryujin CEO is no joke.
Do you have the program? I'm certain Ularu won't pass up this opportunity. So, let's take a look. Aha! The decryption's hit a snag. There's definitely something here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials.
So it is clear what she intended. Now all that is left is to decide what to do with this information.
I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt.
Then it is time we use it.
There's no doubt. Should you have even noticed the upload, the program itself is designed to ignore any stop commands. It would have been too late. I admire your confidence. Let's hope she remembers those words. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished the right way.
I've got my eye on you. I've been waiting, right?
If Vina offers you a job as a
You know, not many operatives. See? Later.
I have performed a cursory scan of your vital signs. You are currently...
Was I supposed to touch that clock?
Can't talk. Doing calculus in my head.
Don't cause any trouble. Hopefully our new accounts will come through soon. I'll get a raise if they do.
If operations starts to bore you, let me know. You'd make a perfect lab rat for the R&D team. Faye. Oh my god. I ran up against her while doing one of my doctorates in neurology. She's genius level smart, which means she's just below DeMarcus, but she absolutely hates being questioned, which is never a good thing. When my dissertation on cognitive reserve argued against the very theory she was presenting in hers, she never forgave me. Ryujin pursued me while I was still in college, and I know they were interested in Faye as well. I think she only ever saw me as competition and had no desire to collaborate with me. It's really unfortunate, but honestly, I couldn't ask for a better collaborative partner than DeMarcus. I hate to say it, but I'm sure she did. Faye's pushed unauthorized human trials on products before. Your department's uncovered the evidence. But since no one ever died, and the only penalty was a few payoffs to cover injuries, I'm sure she didn't think twice about condoning them. Especially if it meant beating out a Ryujin product to market. No one likes a narrow-minded anything. And when you're a scientist, being open to new theories and hypotheses is part of the job. Stop by anytime. We always have something interesting going on.
So many people, all in one place. I still cannot feel entirely comfortable.
Got anything you need to offer? Load. Trade authority is always buying. Kiosk right here for you.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please.
If it belongs on your ship, then if you don't see what you want, feel free to... Oh, please, take a look. Appreciate the business.
I think I could live on coffee if I had to.
Your poise. Your stature. So much to see.
The lives of nearly every individual in the settled systems are so heavily influenced by what... Hello, love. I'll be here when you need me.
detected. All non-essential personnel must evacuate the building. Please find the nearest exit and contact emergency services.
What's that? They're here! Right here! You hear something? Lead out the fire! I'm going for it! Anyone else hear that? I'm going for it! Cover me! I'm getting to safety! help with that. The hell was that? Open fire! We're under attack! What the? Hey, come out!
false alarm. Get behind something! Officer's falling back! Light him up! We're clear. I'm not saying anything.
The hell was that?
Lay down some fire! I'm going for it!
Nothing there. Come out and surrender! I don't see anything.
The hell was that? Huh. Give me some covering fire! The hell was that? Neutralize the target! What? Listen carefully. Leave now, or things won't end well for you. I've got eyes on the suspect. And you hear something? Take him down! something's up. What the hell was that? What? Suspect is on me! Officer needs assistance!
To what do I owe this pleasure? I will watch your back.
I think I'm gonna take the kids off world for a bit.
Listen, I've seen that show a million times. You can't have those two dating. It would never work. People have the strangest...
It's important that the people of the United Colonies can trust their primary news source. Can I help you? Well, I'll be the judge of that. What's this so-called story about? All right, I'll take a look. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence. Well, obviously the truth is what matters most, but oftentimes the source can help substantiate the evidence. We have a reputation to uphold as a news network. I'm sure you can understand that. Well, you can't blame me for trying. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source? Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do. If you'll excuse me, I obviously have work to do.
You have another story for me? Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? I swear you're either a trouble magnet or something. So, SysDef finally, and against all odds, really triumphed against the Crimson Fleet. In their own backyard, no less. How were you involved? So what do you do for an encore? So, the Vigilance went toe-to-toe with everything the Crimson Fleet could throw at them. And somehow, almost miraculously, they captured the key. The key itself. I've confirmed that with many sources. Anything to add? Really? I might have to fact-check that, but it would fill in some gaps. You have to feel good about how everything turned out. Commander Ikande is being hailed a hero, and SysDef's popularity is at an all-time high. Your thoughts? That's a common refrain. He was respected before this, but now? And that's all I need. You really do lead an extraordinary life. And as a, well, possibly embarrassing personal note, thank God for you. My source is back. Here to report anything else? What a sordid mess. We've got some other sources we've been interviewing, but I'd love to get your take on the record. So there was a mercenary company, the First, and they were involved in taking farmlands from Freestar Collective families. Extortion, death threats, murder, all of it. Is that right? Not going to say. I will never, ever give up my source. If anybody asks about you, they get the same answer. Good to know. So all of that? Terrible. But Ron Hope, the Ron Hope, was involved with it at the highest level.
All of that suffering was a plot to save Hope Tech from going under using the side effects of a fertilizer he developed. Let me be blunt. The other sources say you killed Ron Hope. Is that correct? And all that money didn't help in the end. After all of that, the future of Hope Tech is an open question. Their stock has already taken a beating. Not sure if it's going to go into freefall. Any comment? For what it's worth, I'm rooting for them too. Thanks. If you listen to the news, you'll definitely hear this. And, maybe try not to ice any more CEOs. Just a thought.
Let us stick to business here, and hopefully business has nothing to do with Aurora.
Hey, no funny stuff without this
Equipment and accessories for all your hectic needs.
I've yet to hear anything of note on SSNN. Let's hear your report. Good. David won't be able to resist a story like this. He'll do some preliminary confirmations, which will be enough to get the broadcast out to the public. And how did the NeuroAmp perform? I thought it would be. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Infinity Ltd. and Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members. Infinity's net worth is about to hit rock bottom. So this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith. Infinity is about to crumble before the eyes of the public. They employ thousands of people, and those thousands of people are now worried about their jobs. That's where we come in. First, we'll issue a public statement expressing disgust at their leadership, but sympathy for the innocent workers. That's when we offer to acquire them. Quite right. The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception.
I suppose it is all very simple when you do not consider the impact on actual human lives. Just your bottom line.
We've already done some initial evaluations, so I'm certain of it. Infinity has a lot of appeal being in New Atlantis. I'm sure plenty of brilliant minds are there because they prefer the location. Plus, there's always that handful of people that think they've got something to prove by not working for Ryujin. As if other corporations are really any better. It is the right thing for Ryujin. Which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them. Yes, that's exactly what it's designed for. The bright side being, they'll never know. I know you can as well. So now you're fully aware of my expectations. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done.
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work. See? Even a mere operative like you can see the right thing to do. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished. I'll overlook your poorly educated statement. For now. Throwing your competitor a lifeline when they're about to crash and burn hardly seems wise. Well, it does make Ryujin look good, and we do gain a wider customer base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting. An issue? That would be a foolish move. Dalton and Alexis are the only two against it. You'd never get the rest to shut it down. Dangerous indeed. For all I know, you're using it right now. The irony. Perhaps I didn't see it earlier, but you're right. The moment a competitor reverse engineers Vina's work, it'll be chaos. The last thing I want is to have my brain scrambled because some engineer didn't do their due diligence. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
Keep out of my way, and I'll keep out of yours.
This meeting should prove to be very interesting. I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome. That blasted tech. If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened. It's not often, but yes. And I'm not the only board member that initially voted against moving forward with the research. Completely. I understand the success it can bring for the corporation, but my only concern here is security. It's not that the board majority fails to see the dangers. It's that they believe we can overcome them. That hubris could easily bring this corporation down one day. I only hope it won't be on my watch. You read my mind. Let's just hope Masako and the others see it that way. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd., we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause. Well, the timing could be better, but I don't feel strongly one way or another about the acquisition. We've gone through our fair share in the past, and this one would be no different. If Masako wishes to bring Infinity into the fold, I will not stand against it. I hate to agree, but you're right. And I'm sure Masako will understand my reasoning. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
If only there were more hours in the day. If you need something, make it quick. I'd like to make sure my arguments are solid before this meeting. You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd. Is the Pandora's box of corporations. I can guarantee that Infinity Ltd. Was up to more than just the current charges. The process of finding and following up on all those threads won't be easy. I refuse to be blindsided by another corporation's past, so this is going to take a lot of time and patience. I mean, I could handle it as well as any other high-profile situation. But the real question is, do I want to? And the answer to that is no. Unfortunately, half my department's been poring over documentation, while the other half is writing up what legal guidance they can. Nice to know someone is. Everyone's too busy praising its completion to think about the dangers it could represent. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage.
Well, that is one very clear position.
Because the external neuroamps are built to help the user on a personal level. They aid in reason, communication, confidence, all things that can make the difference in a person's self-image. And yes, they can be abused. But that's why there are laws regarding improper usage. Tech like this only has good applications when you have complete control over who uses it. Once that tech hits a market, open or private, that control is gone. And not only that, the tech is out there to be advanced or modified by anyone who might get their hands on it. Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Misako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
It's good to see you again.
Is Misako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side? Because that's what I do. You want something in this business? You don't pull any punches. The only real question is just how persuasive she asked you to be. In this business, there's always a side. And right now, I'm backing Misako. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. While it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light. Infinity is that sad company in distress with thousands of employees terrified of their futures right now. We are the warm embrace of security coming to rescue them. The only downsides are the unknowns. Lyndon and Alexis are gonna have a lot on their hands. Not that I'm getting off easy. Whatever they find, if it hits the public, that's gonna fall on my shoulders too. You know, you're right. There's really too much we don't know about their financial and legal records. If any of those ghosts come to haunt, all that good PR would disappear. The consumer is our lifeblood, so capturing their wants and desires, of course it's all I care about. I'm sure I wouldn't be in this position today if it wasn't. Well, you have my attention. Of course. Which is why I know it requires some very delicate handling. But unlike Alexis, I believe we can get the proper restrictions and regulations in place to have a marketable product. We do it every day with weapons we arm ourselves and our ships with. The possible backlash on tech like this is not lost on me. However, the internal neuroamp will define the next era of tech, with Ryujin at the forefront. It's not an opportunity you just walk away from. Not when you word it like that. But a product that can settle disputes or help broaden someone's point of view? Then you really have something that consumers will buy into. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors. Thanks for the extra insight. Is Masako checking up on me? Because that's what I do. The only real question. Well, you can let me. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. I'm all about free PR. Infinity is that we are the only downside. Not that I'm getting. You know, you're right. If any of those go... The consumer is our life. I'm sure I would... Well, you have my... Of course. But unlike Alexis, we do it every day. The possible back... However, it's not an opportunity. You're right. The moment you violate your customers' trust, there's a good chance they'll never come back. Even worse, you push them into the hands of your competitors. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative.
And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope. What? No, of course not. They're purely theoretical. That's great. I'd say Project Dominion is ready for legitimate human trials in that case. One step closer to seeing market approval. Genevieve is going to be so excited. So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp. I hope you're not actually suggesting that the technology I spent years working on and perfecting never sees the light of day. This is groundbreaking work. My life's work. Of course I do, but there are amazing things Dominion can be used for, too. Humanity has always created dangers, and we've always policed them as well. The internal neuroamp will be no different. It just needs to find its place. Fine, fine. Make your case. Damn the negatives. You're right. I really haven't been taking everything into account. After that SSNN broadcast, I can't imagine anyone's going to try something like that again anytime soon. Well, perhaps I really do need more data. Well, this conversation's made me feel like a proper monster. But you're right. In a perfect world, tech like this is used for good. but this world is far from perfect. It is. It really is. For years, my only focus has been, is this possible? And then, how do I make it work? I never stopped to consider if it was right, or what it would mean. I guess it'll be up to a vote either way. It's not on the meeting agenda, so I assume you'll bring it up yourself? We just have to hope the others will see reason. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be? I'd like to acquire them, although it won't break my heart if we don't. Faye may have stepped over a line in her attempt to replicate my work, but she's a brilliant engineer. I'm very curious to see what else she may have been working on and dig into her research. Wow, you're no fun. I guess there's no point in examining their failures. Besides, I don't want any of their research to steer me in a bad direction. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
I'm glad we're making an effort in our appearance today. Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available. Good. I prefer first-hand feedback when available. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity Ltd throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why? You can tell a lot by just looking at a workspace or simply observing a person in their business environment. Perhaps I mistakenly assumed that as an operative here, observation was a talent of yours. Oh, I didn't mean in regards to Drexler's actions. More in the sense of, should a superior company like Ryujin make room for so many potentially lackluster employees? Perhaps I wanted to see if I could be convinced otherwise. It's easy to say, it's the right thing to do for someone in your position. But for me, Infinity Ltd is a huge financial unknown. It's high risk versus mediocre reward. That is a plea more well spent on Genevieve or Alexis. I prefer to focus on the numbers and leave emotions out of my decision-making. Your disdain is noted. And perhaps you thought I'd care because you're hopeful. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation? Any insight into what made it successful? Being prepared for anything is a great asset, one that Masako excels at. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been. It's the next big step for Ryujin Industries. Financially, it'll keep us secure for years to come. There's no doubt it's our future. It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one, hence the added motivation that will bolster sales. The guarantee depends on if we're willing to make the financial commitment to outfitting each employee with at least a shielding component. A cost that's not lost on me as CFO. Ah, your companion. I would be interested in another perspective.
You are naive if you think tech like this will remain under control. Think of the Neuroamp in the hands of a Varun Zealot or Crimson Fleet pirate. It is not a matter of if it will happen, but a matter of when. Will you be equipped to handle the repercussions when that day comes?
What makes you so certain this is inevitable? Not that I doubt the scenario.
Simple. It is human nature. Nuclear weapons, chemical warfare, xeno-warfare, mechs. Enemies and competitors will get their hands on this tech eventually and reverse engineer it to use however they see fit.
I admit, you've properly pushed my concerns to the very edge. Your friend here is quite convincing. The internal neuroamp does indeed come with risks, none of which I am inclined to take anymore. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
Arguments?
There's pretty much no technological benefit here. We've always been ahead of Infinity Ltd.
And not to mention how bad it would look if the public believes Misako was involved.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Misako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Misako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Misako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security. Escort Miss Chen to her office, and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd? None? I'll only take a brief moment to express my disappointment here, especially in those who saw it fit to change their minds. Acquiring Infinity Ltd could have brought significant growth and increased our public perception. I won't argue with the board's decision, but the long-term benefits far outweigh the short-term issues, and benefiting Ryujin is our top priority. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? The internal neuroamp is a key component of Ryujin Industries' success for the next 10 years, if not more. Why would we shelve it after we've finally perfected it?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. Regardless of the pros, the cons are too morally and ethically irresponsible to move forward with.
The moment the public gets wind of the true capabilities of this tech, we're gonna suffer severe backlash.
Very well. All in favor of shelving Project Dominion?
Aye.
Vina, prep Project Dominion for storage. Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
I'm glad we're making an effort in our appearance today.
Well, not the decisions I had in mind, but it's quite clear where you stand. A fine point, but it still proves its usefulness. The truth remains, Lucas Drexler learned a hard lesson, and we exposed a traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. It's well earned and deserved. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
There was no honor in Ularu's plan. It did not deserve to succeed.
Not often, and certainly not to this degree. We have the occasional employee consider selling information, but thanks to our security and operations teams, we always catch them before any damage can be done. This was the first time anyone from either department was involved. I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
If you are free soon, could we talk? I suppose now you can add climbing the corporate ladder to your list of accomplishments. I think it is perhaps for the best that the research program will come to an end. Where that neuroamp technology could lead, there are many bad outcomes. Too many. I was going to say that everyone with an internal neuroamp all trying to control each other would be the worst. But perhaps even more dangerous would be only one person managing to control everyone else. Except you, perhaps. You do still have one in your head. There is no one I would trust more with it. Except for myself, obviously. And if you are the only one with this neuroamp, I know exactly who to keep an eye on. I suggest you keep that in mind. With the neuroamp matter settled, we should move on to other things, yes?
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day. Of course. If you think anyone here believes in downtime, forget it. And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions? No, but try to see that as an improvement, since I certainly do. The mission board is more efficient for both of us. Well, after this conversation, you can head up to your office and see for yourself. Just think of it as a computer that lets you pick and choose your assignments at will, rather than having to deal with me all the time. Nothing you aren't already familiar with. You experienced the majority of what we do here during your training, if you recall. Uploading a few files, manipulating a narrative or two, obtaining schematics, it's just more of the same. I wish. Assignment approval isn't exactly riveting work. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course. No, only within the tower. The security risk would be far too much to allow access to that data in a public space. At this point, I wouldn't doubt it. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy, just for you.